bitch. Yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
You didn't my mic. What's going on? There we go. We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. I'm joined here as always by my brother Tim. And today we got a packed card here, Tim. We got, I believe, 9 games in the NBA. Then we can follow that up with 11 in the NHL. So we got a decent card to go over. I'm coming into the show with 3 bets already in the NHL. 1 I did for a free pick video last night. 2 I moved on this morning pre-show. So definitely looking forward to breaking down this card. But before we get into today's games, before we get into today's slate, recap of yesterday. College basketball sucked. Everything else was good. College basketball went 0-3. Furman -7, loser. Florida State money line, loser. And San Diego State -13.5, loser. College basketball has been a struggle this year. That it definitely has. And then the other sports, I went 2-1 on both of them. In the NBA, lost with the under 216.5 Minnesota Dallas, but I cashed with Detroit +3 and the under 231 with Cleveland and Houston. So I started 0-1, finished 2-0 in the NBA. Started 2-0, finished 2-1 in the NHL. Over 5.5, Boston and New Jersey was a winner. I'm glad I stayed off of Boston in that game. I wanted New Jersey in the beginning, but that line move was too much for me. But that it is what it is. And then how about them Columbus Blue Jackets last night? +175, underdog winner there. I saw an interesting video of that game. Adam Fantilli had his first career hat trick in the NHL.
Yep, I saw
with his family and friends in attendance. The first on the road too. Yeah, the first person to throw their hat onto the ice, his mom. That was awesome. Yeah, that's just so cool.
And I watched the video. You could see her gearing up.
She was like, "Do I?" That was great. But yeah, and then finished off the night though with a disappointing loser as it was 2-1 Kings over the Panthers. Had the over 5.5. It happens. So slight down day because of college basketball, but overall. The other 2 sports were slightly up.
It was a profitable day on the site, and it continues us to be profitable all year on the site as well. NBA was a good day. We'll start off with Furman. -7 was the outright loser, which was kind of weird. You mentioned the over in the Bruins game. Columbus was a nice winner for you. I split out in the Detroit Pistons game. But it was a little bit. It was profitable by 1/10 of a unit because I had the Pistons money line +122. They win by 10, but it did not hit the over. Yes, I know you said the under. Good job. Houston Rockets had a ball don't lie moment at the end of the game because I forgot who shot the 3-pointer, but he kicked his leg out and a foul was called on Houston. All he had to do was if he made all 3 shots, they win the game. If he makes 2 out of the 3 shots, they at least push to overtime. He made 1 out of the 3 free throws at the end of the game. Houston, money line, never in doubt.
I'm grateful for that because I had the under and I didn't want overtime.
The over in the Temple game was a nice winner. I've been riding out a little bit of totals lately, and that's been kind of fun. They've been going well as of late. Florida State was a loser. The over in the Florida LA Kings game was a loser. I would say probably one of my favorite plays yesterday was the Golden State Warriors after losing by 40. I had them +7.5. They were winning for a good chunk of that game. That second half was ugly for them. They were up, what would that be, 17 points at halftime? Barely covered. They lost by 6. Wow. The Warriors still are kind of whatever, but they at least covered for me. San Diego State was a loser. And we mentioned at the end of the night, Nick, because we saw that one line go from 7 to
5.5 to
5.5 to a
10
10.5. The game goes to overtime. The Clippers cover that 10-point spread. That was my late night special play, so that was kind of nice to see that one go the right way. It ended up being a good day on the site. For the year in general, we are up 5.47 units on the site. Let's keep on rolling. Let's keep on making money. I will say, Nick, and I know you mentioned that college basketball hasn't been that good so far for the site, and I know I need to pick up on it. The two sports that are not profitable are NFL and NBA. All the other ones are profitable, and including our most profitable sport, hockey.
Really?
Hockey's up 4.97. I mean, you barely put stuff up, but they're up 4.97. Up 3.9 in college football, up 0.65 in college basketball, and then not profitable right now in NBA or NHL or NFL. But we still got time for those. Although I don't think we're going to get there in NFL, but we could definitely get there in NBA.
NFL has been terrible this year, so
I'm actually I could figure out exactly the statistics behind. I have to do that on my phone. Exactly how much we're down in NBA, but it shouldn't be that bad. Let's see. It would have to be screenshot NBA. Oh wait, that was yesterday's tab. We got to go dink, screenshot, and then just NBA plays. 3.75. So I could definitely get there today if we have a good day.
Yeah. But head over to the chat and we'll get into today's card.
Let's do it. Morning, guys. Morning, P Hawk. R.I.P. to the bookies. Yes, Nathan. Steve. Hi, Steve. How you doing? Hi, Dad. What's up? All I like today is Bulls spread in the over in the Laker game. My guy, the Earle Bros, good morning. Ouchie, but yes, circle of trust. I've been broke lately. Just got a new car, so I finally recovered. I got bullets to fire.
Hell yeah.
Oh, let's fire them. Let's start firing them in the NBA, shall we?
Yeah, let's get into it here. We have the San Antonio Spurs traveling to Indiana to take on the Pacers. The Pacers are 3.5-point favorites, total of 230 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here. Line opened up at a 4. Within a minute and a half went to a 2.5. So opening line 2.5. Now we're seeing 3.5. And then line opened up to 230. Got down to a 229.5. Back up to 230. Down to 229.5. Back to 230. So it bounced back and forth a couple times between 229.5 and 230. Trying to get the cash flow up on here. Is it going to have me log in? No. All right. Okay. Good. Now it's just being stupid. There we go. Where we have for this game 78% of the tickets, 72% of the cash on the Pacers. At least the line is moving towards the Pacers for those who want to back them. 82% tickets, 83% of cash on the over as well, and it's done nothing but bounce back and forth in this game. Now, it's not a game that the market's not really telling me too much. It's just reacting to what the money's doing, which is moving it towards Indiana. Indiana is coming in. If this will click, that would be cool.
Indiana's been hot lately.
They've been playing some decent basketball. They're only lost in the last 9 games is that 10-point loss to Cleveland, which I believe we were both on Cleveland in that game, or at least I was.
Yeah, because it was the second game against Cleveland back-to-back, so we were both on Cleveland.
Yeah, and then San Antonio is struggling a little bit. They've lost 3 in a row and 6 of their last 7. So a little bit of a struggle for them. Overall, I'm not getting to this game. I guess Pacers or nothing, but this is a game I have no conviction on whatsoever.
I mean, I want to say Pacers or nothing. The lines kind of move the line movement's kind of telling you that. And this is the only thing is that I just don't know if I want to go in late points like that. I remember the Spurs were having a nice little start to the season, but this is kind of a team that's just kind of fallen off just a little bit, which is not a bad thing. We kind of expected it. So we kind of expected a little bit of a drop off, but I mean, this is a little bit much. But And then you got the Pacers, who's kind of turned around their season, 2 in a row and 8 out of their last 9. So definitely a really nice run for them. I mean, I guess it's Pacers or nothing. But I'm gonna end up staying off this game.
Fair.
That was surprising. Air Force sucks. 14 points. Yeah, that one was rough. But it is what it is. I like the Spurs under 229.5 versus the Pacers. Taking an under, that's honestly, it's a little bit scary for me to want to take an under in a Spurs game, but I don't know. The Spurs, the Spurs have gone over in 4 straight, so I'm not really. They haven't really been playing much defense. The last 3 games, 128, 140, and 129 they've let up, and that 128 was against Miami, so it's not like it was against a high-powered offensive machine. So I'm not entirely sure if I can really want to be going after a under in that one. This one should be, I don't know.
Orlando. By the way, one thing we totally forgot to mention about this game. This one's in Accor Arena. This one is an international game.
Oh, whoa, really?
Yes, this was.
Oh, neutral, yes. I just, yeah.
This one is in Paris, France, by the way. This is.
Oh, okay. Then,
Victor Wembanyama triple double.
I want to take something with Victor Wembanyama now.
That's one thing I told. As I was looking on the I looked in like Accor Arena. That doesn't sound like where. That doesn't sound like.
No.
The Pacers are. So yeah, this is a neutral site game in Paris, France. So this is a versus, not an app. But yeah, no action. Not a 2:00 game.
That makes sense now. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So yeah.
What's up, Nicholas Handy? No betting allowed. That's fair. Oh, we didn't even start going over this one.
No, we did not. We have the Orlando Magic taking on the Portland Trailblazers. This line opened up at a 9. It's down to an 8. So we have the 1-point line movement towards Portland. Line opened up at a 209, and it's all the way up to a 212 now. So we do a move towards the over here as well. We have 53% of the tickets and 52% of the cash on the Blazers. The line's at least moving towards them, and it's really 50-50. 77% of tickets, 77% of cash on the over here as well. How are we trusting the Magic as favorites of this size right now? And I get it, Portland's bad, but this Orlando team has now lost 4 in a row, 6 of their last 7, 7 of their last 10. They're coming in off of a loss against the Toronto Raptors in Toronto. And they're taking on a Portland team that's actually feeling decent about themselves. So back-to-back wins as dogs, 4.5-point dogs. They went outright by 11 against Chicago. 8.5-point dogs. They went outright against Miami. So it's a Portland team that's playing better basketball at the moment. And this is an Orlando team I don't trust as a favorite right now. How are we not? And the market's moving towards Portland. They're not public. How are we not on Portland in this game, taking the points in this one?
No, I'll jump on Portland with you. No, that's you make good points, and this has been a Portland team that I know I was on them. I was not on them the last game. I think I was on them versus the Bulls. I might have been. I don't remember. But I was not on them last game as 8.5-point favorites when they went outright against the Miami Heat. This has been a Portland team that's been. I don't really know what to make of them right now because they've been good lately. I mean, they won 2 in a row, but previously that lost 5 in a row. Are we going to trust them again to kind of pull off another win on the road? And I don't know if I could really trust like a road game like this. It's Portland or nothing. Yes, I think I would lean more towards nothing.
Yeah, I'm going to move on this game here, and I'm getting 8.5 minus 112 over on FanDuel. Sign me up for some Portland Trailblazer action here.
Okay. William and Mary minus 5.5. The old Bill and Mare. We got that line's dropped because it was a 7 last night. Which would be, if it was 5.5, that means it would be a lean towards Bill and Mare, but I'm not going to go against. I'm not going to go against line movement like that. That's why we do the numbers at night, because I don't want to be on the wrong side of line movements, in college basketball. Although when it comes to little schools, I guess it really doesn't matter as much. but I will be involved in this game.
We have the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Miami Heat. We have the Bucks 7-point favorites, total 224.5 in this game. Taking a look at the line history in this one here, where we have this line opened up at a 7, still a 7. It did get up to a 7.5 for a cup of tea, but nothing else.
There is still some 7.5s out there.
There are still some 7.5s out there, I guess. Right? Yeah, I see one on DraftKings. I see one on Heritage. Okay, I see a couple 7.5s out there. Line opened up 224.5. 224. It's now up to a 225.5. So we do have a move towards the over in this game. We have 75% of tickets, 72% of cash on the Bucks, and the line's moving slightly towards the Heat. Or my bad, the line's not moving at all. 78% tickets, 78% of the cash is on the over here as well. The line is moving towards the under in this one here. No, it's moved slightly towards the over. It did move slightly towards the over.
Make up your mind.
Yep. Nope. I was trying to remember. The Bucks are coming in playing some good basketball. 4 straight wins and covers. They've won 7 of their last 8 games. They've covered in 6 of their last 8 games. Miami coming in off of a bad loss in their last one. They're 8.5-point favorites. They lose outright against Portland. And now we're getting Miami in a spot where I prefer them at. And that's catching points. And I think I'm going to go back-to-back dogs here. I want to be on Miami in this game plus the points.
Yep, that's where I'm going to be starting off my NBA card. Is a little bit of Miami action, kind of a bounce-back spot after losing to the Blazers last game. As we just mentioned them we mentioned that in the Blazers game before. Plus, it's Milwaukee. Although Milwaukee did cover, they've covered in 4 straight. But it's also a Milwaukee team that was supposed to play in New Orleans yesterday. Didn't play in New Orleans due to weather reasons. And then they had to go and then travel back to Milwaukee after not playing a game. I think their whole schedule thing is kind of messed up at this point.
A little bit.
You got Miami coming in off of that ugly loss. Yeah, no, I'm going to sign up for a little bit of Heat action here. I got plus 7.5 in this one, Nick.
Yep, I got plus 7.5, minus 110 over on Fanatics.
There you go. Want to keep rolling?
Yeah. We have the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Toronto Raptors. 4.5-point favorites for the Atlanta Hawks, total of 233.5. Line open up at a 6.5. Went down to a 6, down to a 5, down to a 4.5, down to a 4. We've seen nothing but line movement towards the Toronto Raptors in this game. Line opened up 235.5, got all the way down to 233.5, and then we're now back at 235. So we have a half-point line movement towards the under in this game as well. We have 72% of tickets, 72% of cash on the Hawks, and yet this line has just moved towards the Raptors. The ultimate question is, have we missed our line on the Raptors? We could have gotten plus 6.5, plus a 6, plus the 5, and now we're seeing 4s out there. Do we really want the Raptors at a 4 now when we could have gotten that type of line earlier? Which I think ultimately would keep me off this spot in this game. And I would lean towards an under in this game here. I think that this Hawks team, with all the overs that they've played to, is going to generate some value on unders, and we've seen that a little bit as of late. So I would go under or nothing, and I'm kind of interested in the Raptors, but just my question is, have I missed the line yet? And maybe at a 4.5, I'm still interested in Toronto. I want to think it over a little bit more.
I've seen this line movement similar in 2 other games recently this week, over the past week. Both of them did involve the Dallas Mavericks, though. I saw it in the Mavericks game versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, where the line started up at 7 and it dropped to like a 4.5, and Dallas won outright. And then I also saw that this recently in the Dallas Hornets game, where it opened up Dallas around 7, 6.5, dropped down to about a 4, and the Hornets won outright. So both dogs won outright in those games. Give me the Raptors money line, plus 160. If I'm going to take a shot with it, the point, you're right. You missed your line on the points. You did not miss your line on leaving the points at the door and grabbing the outright win with the Raptors. Because the way I see it, I don't really see a big difference between a plus 160 and a plus 180 when it comes to betting plus money. Yes, I know it's 20 cents or whatever. I don't see a huge difference with it because it's plus money regardless. There's a difference between plus 160, plus 180, and plus minus 180 and minus 160.
Fair.
So when it comes to it, plus money is plus money to me. So even if I could have gotten 180 or whatever on the Raptors, I still see value in 160. So I'm on the Raptors here. I got them plus 160 money line.
Fair. I'm staying off the spot, but yeah, I was just strongly towards the Raps.
Official play for your boy, Maris Red Foxes. Minus 3.5 on the hardwood. Give me Raptors money line and the points. Yeah, Raptors today. Pacers should cover first half. They should. I mean, it's Pacers or nothing for me, but they definitely should. Morning, Markel. All right, Nick. This one's going to be gross.
Let's get into it. The Oklahoma City Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks. It's a 13-point spread in this game, total 221.5. Taking a look at the the line history here, opened up in 11, it's up to a 13.5. So we do have a move towards the Thunder. The line opened up at a 218.5, but now we're seeing 221.5. So move towards the over here as well. 89% tickets, 88% of cash from the over. Line moving towards it. 55% tickets on the and 68% of cash on the Thunder. The line moving towards said Thunder. And yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of points. Kind of think OKC blows them out.
Mm-hmm.
They played a close game against Utah last night. It was a 9-point game against Utah. The Jazz covered the 17-point spread for those who took it. And on the flip side, we have Dallas coming in off of back-to-back losses. They've lost 5 of 6. They've really struggled without Luka. I don't trust the Dallas Mavericks at all right now. If I'm playing, I'm laying with the Thunder. And I'm just wondering maybe what's the best available line to get. Because 13. Do I want to lay 13 points? That's the ultimate question. And I think the answer right now is no. But I would only look in that direction.
I'm trying to see how many times I've done this year. And what my record is doing it. And I know I said ready for it to be gross. Because I did I mentioned this in a free pick video with Lenny. I'm not gonna be able to figure this out. I took the Thunder, and I know it's high. I know it's a high number, and I know I saw 10.5 last night when we were doing it. I don't care. I think this is a big smash and grab spot for the Thunder. Not to mention. What's an angle that I love to ride? How about a little bit of short-term revenge? Dallas and Oklahoma City played on the 17th, and it's one of the 2 years, one of the 2 losses that the Oklahoma City have this calendar year. I think this is a revenge spot for them. I think this is a smash and grab. I could see this game being over at halftime. So I took Oklahoma City. I got a minus 13.
Fair. And that would be the only way I would look in this game is towards the point or towards laying it. So, but just not one I'm going to go ahead and bet.
Yeah. Sprinkle Wemby quadruple double? No. I think that's
what are
crazy.
the odds on that?
If it's plus 30,000, it's not worth it because how many quadruple doubles have we seen?
True.
Honestly, I'm gonna. How many quadruple?
But if there's anybody in the NBA right now that would get a quadruple double, it's
in
Victor
NBA history.
4.
There has been 4 quadruple doubles in NBA history. The most recent one was 1994.
Was that Hakeem Olajuwon?
Hakeem Olajuwon has done it. That was in 1990. David Robinson was the last one to do it the Spurs against Detroit. He scored 34, 10, 10, and 10 blocks. All of these are 10 blocks besides Alvin Robertson, who did it in 86, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 10 steals. Other than that, all of them have been blocks. And then so David Robertson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Alvin Robertson, and Nate Thormund.
And no quintuple doubles.
No, nobody's
Or
no.
Pentuple doubles? I don't know.
It would nobody. So only 4 people have done that. If it's plus 30,000, that's still not good enough for odds. Thunder -10. Yes, Thunder first half -10. Wemby should have a great game in Paris. I feel like everybody's going to bet that, though.
Pros.
I think everybody's going to bet that, though. That's the one concern.
Here's the thing, though. If you're the NBA,
you want to see that. So.
Do you really care about him going off one game in France? Like, yeah, you do.
Yes.
If you're trying to expand the game out worldwide more.
Okay, it's not really the NBA. It's more of what do the books think. Everybody's going to be betting it. About to go to a place called Lotta Burger here in Southwest. They have stellar breakfast burritos. They get bacon with red sauce. There you go. Now I'm hungry. I just hope SGA not ruled out late. I see what you're saying. If it was 100, no, that's dude. 100 to 1 is even worse. 100 to 1 is 10,000. It's been done 4 times in NBA history. No, I don't think you're getting a good value on it at all. I don't think there's a line that would be good value on it.
Okay, hear me out. And this is the last we'll talk about Victor Wembanyama in France. What if he threw a couple bucks down on his over prof 43.5, -115? Want to take a guess what his triple double odds are? The best I can get is on Bet365, but Betway has a better line, but I can't get Betway.
15 to 1.
18 to 1.
Okay.
I'm kind of interested in Wembanyama triple double 18 to 1.
I won't talk you off of it, but
I might just to sweat something. We'll sprinkle on that potentially. Denver Nuggets and the Sacramento Kings. The Nuggets are 8.5-point favorites, total of 41.5 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here. Line opened up 8.5, went up to a 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5 now. So we've had a strong move towards the Denver Nuggets in this game. Line opened up 241. It's now 241.5. A big move towards Denver with 47% of the tickets and 51% of the cash on them. 74% of tickets, 76% of the cash is on the over here as well. How much of this is potentially a response of the Kings played last night? Which
could be.
Which, if that was the case, that should have been baked in the line already. This tells me injury, potentially, and nobody's on the Sacramento injury chart, so this could be load management potentially.
Maybe.
And here's how I would maybe approach this. If we get a couple players ruled out for the Kings, and this goes up to a 10, 10.5, 11, maybe I'll look Sacramento's way. Other than that, I got really no interest in this game here. Sacramento coming in off of the win, but no cover against Golden State. The Nuggets are playing better basketball. They're now 4th in the West. They're coming in on 3 straight wins, including destroying the Philadelphia 76ers in their last game.
As they should, though.
As they should. They've won 7 of their last 8 games, 8 of their last 10. And I kind of want to see where are they in this. How far behind are they for the 3 seed right now?
Like a game and a half, 2 games.
They're a game and a half behind Memphis, 2 games behind Houston for 2 and 3.
Yeah.
9 games behind OKC.
Yeah, nobody's catching OKC.
Yeah. So I mean, Denver versus that's the only thing I would not want to see is a second round matchup, Denver and OKC. I want that to be a Western Conference final.
I think that deserves to be. Yeah, I think that's the best possible
right now.
Conference final.
All right, Tim, are you looking at the standings at all?
No.
If the season would end right now, who would the Nuggets get in the first round of the playoffs?
God, that 5 seed's been switching around so much.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked, it was the Clippers, but it's probably no longer the Clippers. Is it the Lakers? Oh my God.
It'd be LeBron James, Anthony Davis on all their Q tags.
Oh no! Once they hit the playoffs, they no longer have Q tags.
So never mind. Yeah, I forgot about that. They take the playoffs seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't with the regular season. But yeah, they play the Lakers right now.
Yeah, intriguing. I I'm not laying 8.5 points. That's not something I do. I don't hate people who. Well, sorry, and I laid 13 today, but there was a good reason behind it. I don't really see a reason behind trying to lay 8.5 points in this game. Nuggets have been looking great as of late, and I love to see it. This is the Nuggets team. They're finally healthy, and you can see what they're doing. Obviously, they haven't really played all that much. And the times that they did play, actual teams, Boston, they lost by 8, but there was no Joker. And Houston, they lost by 20. No Joker. Joker's the MVP, by the way. But that's beyond the point. I guess I can lean Denver in this one. Ever since Gordon's come back, Denver's been a little bit better of an under team, but I'm not going to touch a total in this one. I would lean Denver, but I'm not laying 8.5 points on them right now.
Fair. Yeah. I'm going to take a look at one thing real quick over on FanDuel.
Okay. Well, we can always just jump into the next game, which is probably the biggest rivalry in basketball.
Yeah, this is the biggest. This will be the biggest publicly bet game today.
For sure.
Because you just have the two most marquee names in all of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
The Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Boston Celtics. The Celtics, my bad. 5-point favorites. Line opened up at a 6. It's down to a 5. So we do have a move towards the Lakers in this game. Line opened up 222.5 down to a 218.5. So we have a big move towards the under here as well. Which 90% of tickets, 63% of the cash is on the over, yet this line's dropped. Makes me kind of interested in the under in this game a little bit. The only problem is it's dropped 4 points, and I don't like backing a total that's dropped 4 points.
Yeah.
57% of tickets, 63% of cash on the Celtics, and the lines move slightly towards the Lakers, which is interesting. There, 78% of tickets, 55 on the money line here as well for the Celtics in this game. I'm interested in LA. Is that wrong?
No.
This is a Lakers team that plays much better at home. They are coming in off of a win, but granted, that was the Washington Wizards. The Boston Celtics they're playing their third game of a 4-game Western Conference road trip. They've already been to Golden State, the Clippers, and they'll complete California with the Lakers here before they head to Texas to take on the Dallas Mavericks. Before they head home to get to play Houston. I think this is a potential tricky spot here for the Boston Celtics, and they're coming in off of a couple wins. Granted, they played last night. The Celtics. I think I'm going to go with my third dog of the day, and I want the Los Angeles Lakers here plus the points in this game. I'm getting 5 over on Fanatics at -110. Give me the Lakers here in this spot.
God, I'm determining whether or not I want to take plus 5.5 or just go money line here.
Ooh,
because I'm very intrigued and probably just going money line. What's the best I can get? 166. I can get a 166 on the money line. Just give me the Lakers outright today. I'm going to take shots with today because I know I have, at 6, at plus 160 as well. The Raptors today. I'm going to take a shot here as well with the Lakers outright. Bad spot for the Celtics, and I believe there was something with the Lakers. What was the Lakers? Lakers are coming off. They came off of a win, a dominant win versus Washington. But previous to that, they came off the loss against the Clippers. That's what I remember. And then I didn't remember the Wizards game because who would? Give me the Lakers outright here. I'm taking them plus 166.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I have the +5 at -110. I'm cool with that. You can get a 5.5 -118 on BetMGM, but I just went for the 5 at -110 over on Fanatics.
There you go. Standalone game this morning, 11 a.m. Take the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers plus 6.5.
There's an 11 a.m. college basketball game?
Yeah, it's not on our spreadsheet for some reason. I don't know. You keep fighting it, Nick. Boston or nothing. Celtics -5. Now give me the Lakers outright. 2 more games in the NBA.
Yep, the Golden State Warriors are taking on the Chicago Bulls. -1.5 are the Warriors. Total of 230.5. Line opened up at a 3.5. Immediately went down to a 3, down to a 2.5, down to a 2, down to a 1.5. So we have a big move towards the Chicago Bulls in this game. Line opened up 232.5, down to a 229. So a move towards the under here as well. Ooh, 36% of tickets, 55% of the cash on the Bulls spread. 18 and 44 on the money line, and the line's moving towards them. This is the bull spot if I've ever seen one. 77% of tickets, 64% of cash on the over here as well. We have the Bulls coming in. I have to click on the right game here. Where we have the Golden State Warriors. They played yesterday.
Yep.
So this is the second half of a back-to-back for them. They're coming in off of a loss, but a cover against Sacramento. That was following the 40-point loss against the Boston Celtics. The Golden State Warriors are now 21 and 22, a game under 500. The Chicago Bulls. This is, and I was looking at this a little bit, which kind of tells you the story of the conferences this year. The Warriors are 21 and 22, 1 game under 500. They're 11th in the conference. The Bulls are 19 and 25, 6 games under 500. They're 10th in the conference.
Oh, for sure. Well, it just shows that the Eastern Conference is a lot top heavy.
Yeah. And for me, the Bulls are coming in off of a win. This is the last game of a 3-game road trip for them. They were in Portland, LA for the Clippers, and now they'll play Golden State. This line move tells me everything I need to know. I'm going to move on the Bulls here. I'm just going to figure out what number I'm going to get them at.
I got him at 105. And you don't have to try to convince me twice to fade the Warriors. I feel like the Warriors are the most overrated team in the NBA this year. I said that in the beginning. I said that when they got off to their hot start. I'm like, this is not going to hold. This is a Warriors team that is old. They lost Klay Thompson. Curry's not going to be able to put their team on the team on his back. Kuminga's out. Like, this has been a Warriors team that is not up to the standards that they normally are. And as soon as people realize that, they'll be able to make some money fading them. I was on the Warriors last night, so I'm not going to fade them every single game. If the situation is right, I'm going to take them. This is not the spot for the Warriors. Give me the Bulls here, plus 105 on the road.
I'm in full agreement. I got +2, -110 over on Fanatics.
I got plus 105 for the money line. It's the same thing.
I know.
I don't see this game in it. And if it ends at 1 point and you get the cover, I get the loss, whatever. So be it. Leaning Bulls, I want nothing to do with the Warriors besides fading them. Honestly, that's the only thing I could really do with the Bulls right now.
The Warriors right now?
Yes, Warriors. Final game, Nick, and this one's probably a no touch.
It's amazing what 24 hours will do. Yesterday we were talking about the Clippers as 10-point dogs. Now we're talking about them as 14-point favorites.
Yep.
Line opened up at a 12. It's now a 14, and the line's moved towards them. I'm assuming everybody's back?
Yep, probably.
Okay. So they all sat out against Boston, but now they're all going to play against the Wizards.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Well, get the guaranteed win.
Sure. Line opened up 225. It's now 225.5. So a half-point line movement towards the over here as well. 64% tickets, 68% of cash on the Clippers. Line's moving towards it. 78% of tickets, 67% of cash on the over. This is probably one of the easier passes on the card for me. I have absolutely no interest in this game whatsoever.
Zero. Zilch. Nada. And it makes it easier that the Clippers are 14-point favorites. It's Wizards or nothing for me, Nick. But at the end of the day, it truly is a nothing game. I'm happy. I end up getting to 5 NBA plays today, and 4 of them are dogs. So let's roll, doggo night. And then the who do you call it to blow everybody out? Thunder. No chat. So Nick, we'll head to hockey night. Which fun one for this, Nick? It's Star Wars night.
Yeah, maybe may the force be with the Columbus Blue Jackets. I can't stand the Hurricanes, but that's beyond the point. Let's get into it. We have the Carolina Hurricanes -3, 40 favorites in this game. Total of 6 in this one. I did not fully complete my cap on this game or my spreadsheet on this game because last night Columbus was in Toronto, and we cast a nice big plus price tag on these Blue Jackets last night. It was a nice 5-1 win for them in Toronto. As I'm trying to get up the numbers from last night, and it looks like this was just a really strong game from Merzlikins because they won. The Blue Jackets won 5-1, and the Maple Leafs had 4.02 expected goals, and actually had more expected goals than the Blue Jackets did last night. So it was just a poor night for Dennis Hilderby, and a decent night for Elvis Merzlikins. I believe it was Merzlikins last night. And I have this game projected pretty close. Here's the thing, though. I'm not getting involved with this game. It would be Columbus or nothing for me. That would be the only way I would look at it. And I think one thing that's ultimately keeping me off of Columbus in the spot, number one, it is the second half of back-to-back with travel. But it's also off of a very satisfying win if you're the Columbus Blue Jackets. So I could see this being a little bit of a tricky spot for them. Ultimately, it'll lead to me not betting the game at all, but I can only look towards taking a shot with the Columbus Blue Jackets in this game.
Is there a way to get alternative lines on team totals?
I think BetMGM has that.
Because I want to take an alternative line on like Carolina team total over 4.5 or something like that.
Wow.
Because I see 3.5 here at -165, maybe even 4.5 or 5. Because you got a Columbus team that, yes, I know we were on yesterday, so don't get me wrong. This has been a Columbus team that we've been backing a bunch as of late. But coming off of a second leg of a back-to-back, this is also a team that I could definitely see them putting in a backup tonight and Carolina taking advantage of it. Carolina's coming off of winning 3 straight games. This is their first home game after a 2-game road trip where they won in overtime against Chicago and they won 2-1 versus Dallas. So it could be a little bit of a weird spot for them, but at the same time, I feel like I would go. I want to go like Carolina team total over like 4.5, 5 area. Would not surprise me to see Carolina come into this game and just take care of business. It would not surprise me, no.
I'm just not going to get involved with that.
No. Canes. You have to find some fun way to get to it, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's like I would look at it, but I'm probably gonna end up having to stay off that game.
Fair. Let's get into the next one here. We have the Boston Celtics, Bruins, and the Ottawa Senators. The Senators -125 favorites, total of 5.5 in this game. My projection for this game is Senators run -120, -125 range. And I have this game projected for 6.33 goals. And I think this is a very similar spot to yesterday's game for the Boston Celtics. And until further notice, I want overs with the Bruins. I do. And we have also Ottawa, their last game. Okay, everything correlates for an over in this game for me. I'm surprised I didn't see this beforehand. Ottawa Senators, their last game was on January the 21st, so 2 days ago. It was a 5-0 loss against the New York Rangers. So we had the team off the shutout loss. I have this game projected for 6.33 goals. Boston's been an over galore team where they've gone over the total in 5 straight games, and 7 of the last 9. And the 2 games that they didn't go over in the last 9, they gave up 4 goals in both those games. So this is a Boston team that's been giving up goals. Some games they're putting up goals, and they're producing overs. And I'm going to be on yet another over 5.5. We've been seeing a lot of 5.5s with the Boston Bruins, and I think this is a good spot for them here. So I'm going to be on over 5.5. I got that at -110 over on Bet365.
I'm going to go after something in this game, but it's going to be a side. These two teams played on January the 18th, where the Ottawa Senators won in a shootout. Give me the Boston Bruins in a short-term revenge spot. I'm getting plus 130. I feel like that's enough value to want to go after it. These are just spots that I love to look at. And I mean, yeah, Nick, you know me. It's the short-term revenge, or even if, and normally it's most of the time it's just like within 2 weeks, 3 weeks of each other. This one's within a week, so definitely know about it. And they went into overtime, so.
And Boston had a 5-3 lead in that game.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab the Boston Bruins here, plus 130 on the money line.
I just don't trust them defensively right now. That's my main issue with the Boston Bruins is defensively.
That's fair. Blue Jacket. You had the Blue Jackets money line yesterday. So did we. Mm-hmm. That was a nice winner. Very nice winner. Let's keep on rolling, Nick.
Yeah, we have the New York Rangers and the Philadelphia Flyers. We have the Rangers minus 145 favorites, total of 5.5 in this game. My projections for this game, another one that I have projected up in the 6s when it's a 5.5. So this looks like probably another over spot for me. The Rangers finally coming in playing better. And this is a spot I'm kind of interested in the side in this game. My numbers have the Flyers as a favorite in this game. The advanced metrics for the Flyers have actually been really, really strong as of late. They've won the expected goal battle in 9 of their last 10 games. They're putting up 3.40 expected goals for and only 2.37 against. So this has been a Flyers team that's playing some really solid hockey. They've won 3 in a row, 5 of the last 6, and they've gotten points in 6 straight. The Rangers are coming in off of a very satisfying win, 5-0 against the Ottawa Senators. I think also this New York Rangers team is one to keep an eye on for a team that's currently out of a playoff spot to make it into a playoff spot. Because even through all this, I think that this Rangers team is still a playoff contender. And they've received points in 9 straight games because they have lost 3 games in the last 9, 5-4 in overtime against Dallas, 3-2 in overtime against Colorado, 5-4 in overtime against Montreal. So this is a Rangers team that's winning games right now. But with that being said, I'm interested in not only betting this game, but doubling up on it here with the Flyers and the over in this spot. Flyers at plus 130, the over at 5.5 minus 120. Just my numbers like both these plays, so I'm going to take a shot on both here. Philly and the over for me.
Go for it. I'm not gonna end up going after this one. This has been a Rangers team that's been playing good hockey as of late. They're finally kind of back in the win columns. They're back. They're over NHL 500, which I still find is a very hilarious term, NHL 500. But on the opposite side, Philly coming into this one, they look good. As both these two teams are looking good, winning 5 out of their last 6 games, and the only time that the Flyers didn't win a game, they went to overtime. So they received points in 6 straight. Maybe a draw.
I was about to say that.
I could see a draw in this game because these two teams, if they're losing, they're going to overtime and losing. But I'm going to end up kind of just staying off of this one. I don't really bet hockey unless there's something shouting at me for a game. So nothing's shouting at me for a play in this one. So not really too interested in going after it.
Fair. Back to the chat. There's no chat. We'll continue on. We have Les Habitants taking on the Detroit Red Wings. We have the Red Wings minus 120 favorites, total of 6 in this game. Taking a look at my projections for this one here, where I do have the Wings as a favorite in this game. I have them around the minus 120 price tag. I do have this game projected for 6.4 goals. And this has been a Montreal team that has treated me well as of late. And also, on the flip side, though, this is a Detroit Red Wings team that has treated me pretty well as of late as well. So these are two teams that I am preferring to bet on rather than bet against at the moment. I don't see any value on the side of this one. These two teams last played about a month ago. It was a 5-1 win for the Montreal Canadiens. This is the first game back after a 4-game road trip for the Detroit Red Wings. They were in Florida, Tampa Bay, Dallas, and Philadelphia, so only one time change part of that road trip. Montreal, this is they're continuing on their homestand. They've already played 3 games in their homestand. They started off with that 7-3 loss against Toronto, but followed it up with wins against the Rangers and the Lightning. This is a Canadiens team that I only am looking to bet on. I'm not looking to bet against right now, and I think I can say the same thing for Detroit a little bit, even though they're on a 3-game losing streak. They were on that really nice winning streak earlier. They're back at home finally now. So ultimately, a no play for me in this game. Maybe a draw, because I think both these teams are playing well right now.
Yeah, these are 2 teams that I'm kind of going to go with you and say that these are 2 teams I don't want to be really fading right now. And if I am going after a team, it's going to be the Habs and plus money. How about as much as I know? I mean, I know the Sabres are whatever, but don't want to see a draw, but I could definitely see a draw in this game. Although these are 2 teams that don't want to see each other get points, but at the same time, I think both these 2 teams are more worried about trying to move up the standings themselves than really worried about each other getting points. So I don't really think that's going to matter all too much. I think this could be an easily a good draw candidate for tonight to go to overtime, but other than that, I'm not going to go and pick a side.
Yeah.
Habs have earned my respect.
Absolutely have.
And overtime.
I could definitely see it.
Yep. I could definitely see overtime.
I can see a few overtime games today.
All right. I heard I know you mentioned news to me, Nick, about this game, and it's going to put me on a certain side.
This is one of the 3 players I came into the card with, or into the show with. And I have this game 3 games from now, and the second to last game we'll talk about. So a lot of the later action is the one I got to before the show. We have the Minnesota Wild taking on the Utah Hockey Club, with the Wild as -145 favorites, total of 6 in this game. Let's get into it. We're seeing -150 now a little bit on some books. The Minnesota Wild, they're coming in off of a nice 3-1 win against the Colorado Avalanche, which snapped a 3-game losing streak for them there. On the flip side, Utah coming in on back-to-back wins against St. Louis and Winnipeg. So playing some good hockey right now, Winnipeg. Utah, my bad. I was staring at the Winnipeg logo. Utah. Now they do hit the road, though, as they did have a 7-game homestand. I moved on the Utah Hockey Club at +130 this morning. Why? Well, for starters, my projections like the Utah Hockey Club a little bit. The advanced metrics for the Wild right now suck. And I have my numbers projected Utah as a favorite. Also, we get to the star returning fade tonight as well. Kirill Kaprizov will be making his return to the ice, which I think could mess up the chemistry on some of the lines that were made when he was out. And we've seen this plenty of times before. The star returns, the first game back, they lose. And I think could be one of those spots here for the Wild as well. +130, I'm on the Utah Hockey Club in this game.
Same as you. And I know I don't like to always just sit here and agree, but no, I'm on that same spot. Just the return of the star player, and that's all it is to me. It's been an angle that we've been kind of riding for a while, and normally it works out pretty nicely for us. So yeah, it's a spot that I'm going to keep running to whenever I see it. Kaprizov, which is one of the better players in the league.
Yes.
I think we can kind of say that. Although the Wild have looked good without him still. It's still the star player returning. Everybody's going to see that, want to look at the Wild. Give me the opposite side with Utah.
Yep, I'm on the same picture.
Still no chat, so let's keep on rolling, Nick.
Yeah, the Vegas Golden Knights and the St. Louis Blues. If you feel like you've seen this matchup recently, you have. It was a couple days ago. And it was I believe, a shootout win for the St. Louis Blues. We have the Golden Knights. I have their -145, -150 favorites in this game with a total of 6. I have this game projected. Golden Knights -115, -120. So I do see a little bit of value here with St. Louis if you're interested in the Blues. These two teams just played. It was a shootout. 5-4 win for the Blues. which now the Vegas Golden Knights, don't look now. They're still first place in the Pacific Division. They've lost 4 straight games in 6 of their last 7 since they played the Islanders. And then they lost the Rangers. They beat the Wild and then lost to Nashville, Carolina, Chicago, and St. Louis. So a little bit of a struggle here from Vegas. The first time we've really seen that all year.
Better now than in the playoffs.
Exactly. Ultimately, I'm not getting involved in this game. It's dog or pass, and I think the 6 is spot on. I have it projected for 6.03 goals. So, dog or pass, but in play.
Short-term revenge angle spot, Nick. Give me the Vegas Golden Knights puck line. You just saw these two teams play. A shootout win for St. Louis. Whenever two teams play, I always take the opposite side the next game. As long as they're two close teams. So, because I know the other day, like Pelicans and Jazz played, and I didn't touch either of those games because they played back-to-back games. As long as the two teams are close, sort of, or division rivals like this, or are they? No, they're not division rivals. No, sorry, Pacific Vegas is in the Pacific. My bad. But whenever these two teams are kind of close to each other, like the close numbers like this, I will take the opposite side. Plus 170 for the puck line of the Vegas Golden Knights, and that's where I'm going to be landing here in this one.
Fair. But we will continue on. Marquee matchup of the night, Tim. Buffalo Sabres taking on the Calgary Flames. We have the Flames minus 125 favorites. Total 5.5 in this game. And this follows another one of those angles for me of a total at 5.5 that I have projected in the 6 range. I have this game projected for 6.29 goals. I have the Flames projected as minus 120 favorite in this game. So I think the side is correct. The total, though, I think is once again too low. And I've seen a lot of 5.5s as of late, and I've been trying to pick off these 5.5s when I see value. And in this spot, I see value with the 5.5. We have the Buffalo Sabres. They're coming in. They've been a decent over team this year, 25, 15, and 7 over under. Calgary's been more of an under team. The Sabres are coming in off of actually they've have at least 6 goals in 4 of their last 5 games. The game against Vancouver was the only game they didn't. Now, the one thing that does concern me is the side of Calgary because they've played 2-8 over under in the last 10 games. And this is a spot where I want the over, especially at a 5.5. 5.5 minus 120 over on Bet365. I'm going to bet the over in this game. It is a little – I like the over in the Philly game better than I like the over in this game, or the over in the Boston game more than I like the over in this game. But when you're giving me 5.5 and my number's projected at a 6, I'm going to take shots at 5.5, over 5.5 minus 120 here.
I kind of want to look towards Calgary. But I know it's kind of me just being whatever with the Sabres right now. The Sabres haven't been playing awful, but it has not been pretty. And they were actually part of my short-term revenge angle that went wrong the other day with kind of similar back-to-back games against Seattle within a week, and it didn't work out. But this is a Sabres team that I don't know what Sabres team you're going to get. That's my big concern is which team are we going to see? Not to mention, it should be Upi and net because they had a day off. But are you going to see the team that fights hard and wins 3-2, comes from behind in the third period against Vancouver? Or are you going to see the team that gives up versus Pittsburgh? I don't know which, or gives up versus Seattle on the 11th when they were up 2-0 and give up 6 unanswered goals. I don't know which Buffalo Sabres team you're going to see. I'm hoping you get a lot more consistent of play from them eventually. But at the same time, you're not going to get that. So it's Calgary or nothing for me. I have no faith in the Sabres.
And that's just the characteristic of a bad hockey team is being inconsistent.
Yes.
Unable to string together strong performances for multiple games in a row.
Correct. And it's unfortunate, but it's what's happening with the Sabres this year.
Yep. We'll move on to one of the second game. I have a pregame action in. This one I had a free pick video for last night. Edmonton Oilers, Vancouver Canucks. This line, wow, it's moved since I bet it, and now there's no longer any value. This reminds me of one of the last times I bet this team. I think I've been backing this team a decent amount lately.
Oh, boy.
It's the Edmonton Oilers on the -1 line. And -112 is what I got it at. I got it when the money line was -175, though. So now we're seeing -190s, -200s in some spots. We have the Oilers coming in on back-to-back losses against Vancouver and Washington. And here you go, Tim. There's another short-term revenge angle. 5 days ago, 3-2 win for the Vancouver Canucks against the against these Edmonton Oilers. And McDavid's out still. But when you look the other night, my only loss was the Oilers -1 against Washington. They dominated that game. They outshot them. They outshot them 32-14, and the expected goal metrics was 5.05 for Edmonton, 1.8 for Washington. Washington is going to be a beautiful fade when the regression sets in on them and they stop playing over their heads every goddamn game. Because this Washington Capitals team, I cannot wait to put a decent-sized bet against them on a series prop for whoever they play in the first round. And I hope it's the New York Rangers or someone like that I can trust, that people will be a little bit lower on because the Rangers have struggled this year or something along those lines. I want a team that I can get nice plus money, and I'm going to fade the hell out of the Capitals in the playoffs. I cannot wait. And in this spot, though, I am on the Oilers on the -1 line. We'll be talking about the Capitals in a little bit. But I'm on the -1 line for the Edmonton Oilers. I expect a bounce back or a positive regression for them. I don't expect them to put up 5 expected goals and only see 2 go in. Pretty plain and simple. This team can play without McDavid. They proved it last game. Now I'm ready to see it go in the back of the net and not be goalied again. So I'm on the Edmonton Oilers on the -1 line here.
Do you know who Washington would play in the first round of the playoffs?
Who?
Ottawa.
Sign me up.
You know that Washington's the best team in the East by 7 points?
Yeah. That would be the battle of the nation's capitals.
Nice. Short-term revenge spot for the Edmonton Oilers, so I'll jump on them with you. But this is also a Vancouver team, Nick, that's coming off of an ugly loss versus the Sabres. They go and they blow a third-period lead in that game. And at the end, I don't know what you have for the projected numbers, but I was watching that game. I feel like Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen stole that game.
2.94 to 1.87 in favor of the Vancouver Canucks, so he kind of did.
So that's because Upi has been really good this year.
It'll be fun to see him in the Four Nations.
And the problem is that sometimes he just doesn't get a good amount of defense in front of him, but he's been really good. So I definitely saw that game kind of get stolen from the Canucks in their last one. But short-term revenge and a game that Vancouver goalied the Oilers, I'll go ahead and jump on the Edmonton Oilers here. You can get their puck line at around +130 area. It's like the top of my hockey range or bottom of my hockey range, but I'll take it.
Also, one thing that I think an opinion I have on the Vancouver Canucks that is not very popular among the hockey world, I think they're a bad hockey team. I don't think the Vancouver Canucks are a good hockey team right now. I just don't.
It's a fair statement.
I don't see them as a playoff hockey team this year.
Yeah.
Talk about 2 non-playoff hockey teams. Let's get into it. Pittsburgh Penguins and the Anaheim Ducks. A little battle of the birds. Battle of the flightless. No, ducks can fly. Never mind.
You just sound like a complete idiot.
I know. I was thinking. I don't know why I was thinking ostriches. Let's get into it here. I have the Penguins projected at around a -115, -120 range. I have this game projected for 6.122 goals. The Anaheim Ducks are a tricky team because they are a team where I don't trust them on a day-to-day basis offensively. This is a team that has been shut out 1, 2, 3 times in their last 6 games. 6-0 loss to the Flyers, a 3-0 loss to the Caps, a 3-0 loss to the Panthers. When the well goes dry in Anaheim, it goes bone dry in Anaheim. That's the problem with them. And on the flip side, the Pittsburgh Penguins are a team that I still don't trust. They've lost 4 of their last 6. They have lost 7 of their last 10. And they continue on a long West Coast road trip. They were in Buffalo, Washington, LA, Anaheim. And then they're going to go Seattle, San Jose, and Utah the next 3 games. So it's a long road trip for the old and slow Penguins. I would only look at Quack this game, but I'm not betting it.
I'll take a total. I can get plus 230 under 5. Or if you really wanted to go after it, if you could find the is there a way to find the exact alternative lines for unders for teams? Because I would look towards the Ducks team total under 1.5. 2.5 is plus 110 for them.
I believe you can find, if you want to take a shot with that, Penguin or Ducks goals in regulation 0. That'll probably.
Where do you find that?
I'm gonna look that up for you on FanDuel here.
Oh, FanDuel, okay.
There are other spots you can look it up at. I know Bovada has those odds too, and things.
That's what I want to try to find.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. And I'm seeing 6.5 over on FanDuel for a total. It's minus 134 to the under. I'm seeing a 6.5.
Players score first. Anytime goal scorer. Anytime. Anybody shoot 3. I wanted to try to find first goal scorer none for the Anaheim Ducks.
You can do both teams to score no plus 780.
I kind of like that. I could and thinking that one of them's going to get shut out this game. I'm just going to take the under 5. I'm going to take the under 5 at plus 240.
Yeah, you can get under half a goal in the first period for the Anaheim Ducks at plus 110.
I don't hate that either, but I'm gonna take plus 240 on the under 5.
That's not a bad look.
I'm on the Ducks money line. Close my eyes and go to bed. I don't blame you on that one. All right, Nick's favorite team.
Yep, here we are, back to the wall again. Give me the Kraken. Let's get into it. Washington Capitals minus 140 road favorites, total of 5.5 in this game. I have this game projected Kraken minus 110. And I'm getting plus money on them. I also have this game projected for 6.11 goals, but ultimately I'm going to stay off the total, even though I like the over 5.5. The Kraken are off of back-to-back wins. They've had a few days off. Their last game was at home against Buffalo, that 6-4 win. They've won back-to-back games at home. They beat the Kings. They beat the Buffalo Sabres, which followed a 5-game road trip where they went 2-3. Seattle Kraken playing okay at the moment. The Washington Capitals have won 5 games in a row. Despite now their expected goal numbers are a little bit better the last few games. But I mean, last game there was the 5.05 to 1.8. One thing I've learned is the Capitals are relying way too much on goaltending. And this is a team that gives up a lot of expected goals. And they're just having their goaltenders stand on their head every single game. And that's not going to work long term. Yeah. And this is a Washington Capitals team that should not be 32-10-5. That's ridiculous that they have lasted this long relying.
Didn't they do that last year too, though?
Yeah, they exceeded expectations all year last year as well. And then the playoffs hit and reality hit. I think something very similar will be this year as well.
Did they get swept in the playoffs?
They got swept by the Rangers in the playoffs.
That's what I figured. Okay.
I'm on the Kraken at plus 120. I think the wrong team is favored in this game. Yes, I'm aware that the Capitals are 32-10-5. I do not care. This team is not that good. I promise you that. Whether they showed in the regular season or they continue to be a luck box in the regular season and then showed in the playoffs, this is a Capitals team that is going to disappoint eventually. And they're going to regress eventually. And we are going to be towards the front of the fade the Washington Capitals wagon while doing it. So I'm going to do it here as well. Plus 120, Kraken money for me.
I'm not going to go after Washington Capital games. And the only time I do is if I'm betting on the Washington Capitals. Just because we can never get them right. So there's no reason for me to try to really go and jump the gun and try to go and try to get it right. So, no, I'm not interested in this game, Nick.
Fair.
which will bring us to our final game of the day.
Yep, we have the Nashville Predators and the San Jose Sharks. I've wanted to back the Nashville Predators a decent amount lately. And unfortunately, they're giving me stupid lines to do it at. And this is another one where they're giving me a stupid line to do it at. My projection for this game is Preds minus 210. And I have this game projected for 6.64 goals. So I actually do lean over 6 in this game if I'm getting involved with it. However, do I want an over 6 in a matchup that we literally just saw 2 days ago finish 7-5 Predators? Not particularly. And I know you're going to want to hit your revenge spot here. I believe the Preds are 11-0 the last 11 games against the San Jose Sharks.
Okay.
I have no interest in this game whatsoever. This is a San Jose Sharks team that is regressing, and we're finally starting to see the true Sharks. They've lost 4 in a row. They've lost 7 of their last 8. Their only win was the first game of the road trip against the Detroit Red Wings. And then on the flip side, we have a Nashville Predators team that's finally starting to play some good hockey. They've won 4 in a row. Granted, they were minus 280 favorites against the Blackhawks. They're minus 380 favorites against the Sharks. Part of 2 of those 4 wins. But for me, I want to find games to back the Nashville Predators. Unfortunately, they keep putting them at major high favorite lines to a point where I can't get involved with them. And unfortunately, I think the next game I might be able to play the Nashville Predators will be against the Vancouver Canucks on the 29th because their next game is on Saturday against Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be big favorites against Anaheim there as well. So, unfortunately, cannot get to any Predators games at the moment as much as I would like to back them right now because their advanced metrics are getting better. They're actually pretty strong, but just not the lines that they're offering.
Sometimes, Nick, you just got to go swimming with the Sharks. Short-term revenge spot. Not to mention, what did we see in that Sharks game last game?
They blew a lead.
Sharks were up, 5-3? They were up 5-3 at the end of the second. 5-1. They were up 5-1. And they lose 7-5. Holy shit. Give me the Sharks. I don't care at the end of the night. You can see a bunch of favorites end up winning today, and the Nashville Predators be the final leg of a bunch of people's parlays, possibly. With that, I'm grabbing the Sharks as your parlay buster tonight in the NHL.
Yeah. And here's the thing that I think going forward, I think the San Jose Sharks are going to be an awesome live betting team.
Against.
Because if they're up and anything goes wrong against them, they collapse.
Yep. You tend to notice that with teams that are just like – because
you notice that with bad young hockey teams that are mentally fragile.
Yeah, because I'll say, you see that with Sabres all the time. All of a sudden, they're up 4-1 and then 4-0, and then click, 1 goal, and click, all of a sudden they're down. So, no, you see that a lot. Sharks on the puck line. Can we see this game go to overtime, Nick?
Why not? We saw the Sharks playing them close last game, but
no, that's all the games for today. We will get the card up on the site after the show once because we got to put all the NBA plays are up. I got to finish the spreadsheet for the college basketball because there was a bunch of no lines last night. So I got to figure out anything extra with that, along with me going and looking at a couple of my totals that have been kind of doing well as of late. So I want to continue doing that. So all the card should be up in a little bit, but that's going to do it for this edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. We'll be back again tomorrow. Peace out, guys.